Welcome back to A.M.B. Garage, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to balance your crankshaft.
So one thing to note is that these crankshafts that come in these engines are terrible. The crankshaft itself is okay. The balance factor and how these things perform are terrible, absolutely abysmal. So when it comes down to it, balancing your crank is probably one of the best engine mods for performance and reliability. Performance, you get much higher RPM, you get I would say better acceleration, much better throttle response, and it smooths out the entire power delivery. So if you're riding your motorized bike, if you're riding it for 1 or 2 miles and you notice your wrist really hurts, you know, your hands and fingers are numb, your butt bone is just like hurting terribly, this will help. I mean, compared to like not a balanced crank, when you put in your balanced crank and you run it for the first time, it feels like the engine is not even there. Like, it's insane. So and as far as reliability goes, this drastically decreases engine wear to the internal components, so like the bearings, the piston rings, all that good stuff. You look at a lot less wear when you balance your crank. So what you need to balance your crank is this. You need a caliper of some sort, or a measuring tape might do. You need a 1/2-inch drill bit or a 12 millimeter or whatever. You need a 5/8 drill bit or similar size, something to mark your crankshaft. Of course, you need a crankshaft. You need a drill or a drill press. Hand drill will work as well. You need some kind of lubricant. You don't want to raw dog it. And you want to mark out where you want to drill your crankshaft. Now on this standard crankshaft, what I do first, I mark the center of these 2 holes. So let's see right here. That is 20 millimeters. So I take half of that, 10 millimeters, and I mark it right there, 10 millimeters. And then I look at the width of each of the crankweight like edges. So that's about 16 millimeters. I bump that down to about 8 millimeters, and I measure it from the top about right there. So that being said, that's about how you get that center hole right there. And then of course you mark it right there, just so you have a rough estimate of where you're drilling. And so then you want to do that to the side of these already existing holes here. You want to do the exact same thing you did there, the exact same measurements. So you want to go 10 millimeters over, and you want to go about 8 millimeters down. And you want to do that on both sides, and you want to do this entire thing on the other side of the crank. So there you go. So one other thing that you want to do, you are going to be drilling this 1/2-inch drill bit through the center here, and then this 5/16 will be for both the sides here. And so for these two, you want to drill 5 millimeters deep on both of those sides. For the center one with the 1/2-inch though, you want to first measure the thickness. You want to first measure the thickness of your crank weights. So that being said, mine's about 15 millimeters, and you want to leave about 3 millimeters worth of leeway, so you do not drill through the entire crank weight and potentially messing up your connecting rod and whatnot. So with that being said, I will drill my 1/2-inch through the center, about 12 millimeters, and then I'll be drilling my 5/16, 5 millimeters on each side, and then I'll be repeating that on both sides.
Now personally, I like to take paper towels and stuff them around so the metal shavings don't get all in this connecting rod bearing here and mess things up. So let's put it on the drill press and get started. As you can see, this is my result. worked really well. Now, of course, like on this side, your holes don't need to be exactly perfect. I mean, keep in mind that they are terrible from the factory, so even if this hole is slightly off, it really won't even be that noticeable compared to how much better it will be in the long run. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps. And let me know what other motorized bike content you want to see next. Alright guys, have a good one.